Another deck that I honestly am excited to see is Slicer Hired Muscle out of Jeremy Gates. We've got Mono Red Beatdown making an appearance. Very exciting.
This
Nothing.
pod is crazy.
This is like
We
a
like
very interesting pod.
yeah, for the record, we did not feature Ian yesterday. He is
Yeah,
still live for the top 16, so we wanted to feature him playing Kinnan.
yeah.
Uh, but he got thrown into a really wild pod here, so
Slicer,
this is
Tivit,
good.
Inala, Kinnan. What year is it? That's right. That's very exciting. All right. We're seeing our competitors shuffle up right now. Looks like looks like Kyle, let's talk about the sleeve game going on right now. We've got
Mhm.
some very interesting sleeves out of first position. And it looks like we have generic blue and purple. Tivit in blue sleeves, I think is very fitting. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the blue sleeves out of Tivit. There's first seats sleeves are definitely pretty wild.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
We've got
Oh, is that
the
is that the combat step logo? Is that what I
oh
see?
oh it could be.
I think
It
I
very
think
well
that's what
could
it
be.
is now that I'm looking. I thought it was like a Pokemon because we didn't have because it was being
Yeah, it's
shuffled,
like
mixed
a
around. But I
open
I
mouth.
think it's the combat step
Oh,
up
cool.
and coming stream.
Very cool, very cool. Inala. Inala is it's a crazy deck, and I like those sleeves. They're very artful. But Inala
Yeah.
is a crazy deck. Are you familiar with the Inala combo at all, Kyle?
Yes. People have explained it at me a couple
Mhm.
times. There's a lot going on with that deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
certainly.
I've played against it a couple times. There's someone at my LGS that plays Anala. They've yet to execute the combo while I'm in the pod. However, yeah, no, it kind of has a not quite the cult following that Rogsai has, I would say, but
Mhm.
you don't just pick up Anala. So
Yeah,
I'm eager to see if they can do their thing here because yeah, it's cool to see Anala live for top 16 here. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, so yeah, that's exciting.
I've seen a small resurgence in Inala from some players who used to play it and some new players to it. One person that I like to watch play Inala is Bailey Abner. I'm not sure if they're at I don't think they're at the event, but uh I've been stumped by Bailey Abner on Inala. So yeah, not here. But I've been stumped by Bailey Abner on a lot on Inala so many times. I've also been stumped by Alana so many times, which is another name that I accidentally said. But Inala is a crazy deck with the Spellseeker combo and can also play Oracle and Breach. And as far as the Grixis piles go, I was always partial to Malcolm Vile Smasher, but I feel like
Hmm.
Inala is the other one that I find very interesting. Just the gameplay that it can create is very cool. It reminds me of Razakats in its heyday, where
Hmm.
you resolved one card and then 20 minutes later, through a series of rituals and searches, you have resolved the
Yeah.
combo and won the game. Uh, it's always been very interesting to me. I miss the heyday of Razakats deeply, and I know it'll never come back, but gosh, do I miss it.
Yeah, and we've seen Rogsai, we've seen Blue Farm on day one. So this is
Yep.
yeah, yet another take on Grix. This is of course one of the strongest shells you can play in this format, but a ton of ways to build it.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we are keeping a 7 for Tivit, a 6 for Ian on Kinnan. Notably, Ian was finally able to afford some sleeves for his shirt. I'm so glad. I guess you maybe sold one of those time twisters. I'm
It's
really
also
happy for you,
winter,
man.
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe it's
well,
cold in the
it's
hotel room or
it's
something.
winter in Atlanta. It's not that cold.
So,
But
it's funny you bring that up because I do watch Ian's YouTube channel whenever he posts a new video, and sometimes my wife is walking by and it's on my laptop, and she's like, "Is that guy with no sleeves again?" So she's also aware of Ian and his lack of
amazing,
sleeves.
amazing. It is a trademark.
Yeah.
Ian notably leading on Mox Diamond, and there's a fetch in the bin, so I assume that's what's happening. And turn one Sylvan Library again. What year is it?
A contestable slot in Kinnan
I
and
think
playing
it's
the library over the Kinnan. Yeah.
turn one Sylvan Library is peak Sylvan Library in my
Yeah.
opinion. So
Oh yeah, you can get something going here.
yeah,
It's probably gonna be pretty good here.
that's a pretty good start. I think Drake Sasser, notably not a big fan of Sylvan Library in CEDH, but I think there
The
might have been
flex
an
slots in Kinnan are very polarizing. We got Max
yeah.
Sternberg on Armored Scrap Gorger. I know there's some back and forth with Max and Ian on whether that card deserves a slot or not. And then yeah,
Yep.
Sylvan Library, another difference between Max and Ian's lists.
Notably a underground sea and pass from Anala off of the fetch. My intuition leads me to believe that that will be a vampiric tutor at some point. We have Slicer
Hmm.
resolving the Jeweled Lotus. We are slicing. Amazing.
Oh man. Yeah, this is Slicer's just here kind of throwing a lot of traditional wisdom about how most of these Kin and Tivit pods will play out.
I mean, if you're Tivit, I feel like Inala and Tivit are kind of first on the menu for Slicer, and I think you want to get your 6/6 into play pretty quick, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
love. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, Temujin's, the kind of the most popular Tivit pilot currently, and I know they play it very defensively.
Yeah.
I've actually had more success playing the deck fairly aggressively, just like turn two Tivit, like I want to do that and I want to untap and win. And from fourth seed, it's like, how do you? There's already a lot of crazy stuff that's going to happen by the time you make it to your first turn. So yeah, it's hard to stop everything.
Let's talk about crazy stuff. Slicer going after Kinnan first. Little name recognition for Ian, I think. Yeah, there is a Sylvan library in play, but we do have two
Yeah, and
Adnon
first
decks at the
seat, and
table.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ian does have to work around that, just
Yeah.
being one of the most successful players in this tournament. Um,
Dark Rit? Ooh.
okay, four drop.
One
All
ring.
right, yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah, shields up for Slicer. Love that. Is this a counter spell? Are we playing a null? Wouldn't that be sick if
Hmm.
this was an annul? Oh my god.
Yeah.
What is
What?
that? Spell Pierce? Is that Spell Pierce? A Halo? I didn't realize that they did Halo foil anything. What is
Yeah,
that?
I haven't seen that, but I do see Spell Pierce in their list, and that
I think that's
it's
probably a
likely a
Spell
cool
Pierce
looking
then.
Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is Tivit on Nas? Request the chat. Well, you know what? The great thing is, yeah, it was Spell Pierce. Okay,
They
the
are
great thing
not
is,
on Nas. Which
ooh.
I respect not being on Nas, so you can just say not on Nas and
Hey guys,
just
I'm not on
gain some
Nas.
life.
I if I was a cop, I have to tell you. So I'm not on Nas.
Yeah.
We have a Kinnan, and things get a little bit crazier as Ian is just developing, developing, developing. Great start despite having two cards in hand. We have a Slicer. Slicer, I think, must attack. So here we go. Let's punch. Swing it at Tivit. It'd be funny. No. All right, we're going after a Nala, which does make sense.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're Grixis, nothing personal. There
Yeah.
you go.
Here's a slicer. And the active player token provided by All Trades Media is
Making
part
our
of the.
job easier.
Absolutely. This is a Ballin's tomb. That's ancient tomb. I love the Lord of the Rings printing. Very cool. We've got yeah, I mean, we can't fire off the Spellseeker combo. I doubt we have that in hand with 3 mana. It looks like we might be trying to resolve a mana rock or oh wow, okay, never mind. I'm looking in hand and we have a couple pieces of different Spellseeker combos in hand. Burnt
Oh,
Offering,
nice.
Slicer itself is that I think that's part of Slicer that it's not able to be.
It, yeah, can't be sacrificed this
Yeah,
turn.
if you do it at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, yeah, Slicer cannot be sacrificed, which is unfortunate because we do have pieces of the
It's,
Anala combo in
yeah,
hand that we're bleeding. So I think yeah,
interesting. Traditionally, just flavor text coming into play here for
yeah,
Slicer.
and we're at 25 life on turn 2 from Anala right now. Just being beaten to death by Slicer and your own damaging spells. Life is a resource and you are running out.
Yeah, they're the only Adnaz deck at the table. So yeah, they're just getting beat on, and then yeah, Ian just a close second for who's worth attacking with the Sylvan
Yeah.
Library, and just a traditionally strong start.
I'm just looking at the chat now. Hello, everybody. Billy Corcoran says, Scoots, hi, Billy. How are you? Everyone in the chat saying it cannot be sacrificed. What's he saying? People not respecting the red car. They have just been attacking the Anala. Yes, they've been beaten on Anala. Ian got hit once, and then after that, Inala getting the spurs put to it, and yeah, Billy bleeding the burnt offering for
Yeah.
Inala probably not great for their prospects of winning the game after resolving an Imperial Seal, huh? Not great. But we'll see what happens. Alex will fix the life total.
Scott, were you able to see what was found off the Imperial Seal? Was
I
that
did
flashed
not
at all?
I did not see it get flashed, but I have an inkling of what it might be.
What do you think it might be?
It might just be Spell Seeker
Hmm.
or
Yeah, Spellseeker or
a mana
Or
source.
Dockside. It's yeah, it's
Yeah.
always
I think I saw I
it's a
don't want to
scary tutor
say.
though.
I
It's
think I saw Dockside in the opener, so it could be a
okay.
red source. That said, opponents, if you're currently watching this pod on your Apple Watch, stop it. No. Slicer finally getting to their turn 2 and untapping. Thank you for fixing the life total, Alex. You are just a beautiful man. Slicer untapping with one basic mountain and a very large angry robot in play.
Yeah, curious what else they have. They started out with the J Lo. They got things going. Is there a follow up, or was that just kind of what they were looking for, or just that was satisfactory? Just get the commander down early.
Right now Slicer has punch, which is a pretty good maneuver, honestly.
Mm.
Uh we've we've dropped a null to 19 life. Are they dead to commander damage at the next. What is this? Yeah, I think
Is
they
that
are
a new
dead to commander
Chalice
damage
of the
in the
Void
next
on
combat
0?
step. Is that
What that is?
Chalice?
I think it's the new Chalice. A
Ooh!
newer Chalice.
And then that is a red card. It could be Winds of Change. I'm just gonna pull up Slicer. Or you know what? I'm just gonna look at the stream chat. They're gonna tell me.
Mm. It does look like Winds of
They
Change,
haven't
yeah,
told me,
the portal.
unfortunate. It could be Winds of Change, yeah.
Each player counts the cards in his or her hand, shuffles those cards into their deck, and then draws that many cards. An
Honestly, if
interesting
you're a
card.
slicer, that is a pretty good opener. Jeweled Lotus
Yeah,
Slicer and then next turn refill, it's pretty good.
yeah,
We're
so
deciding if
kinda
it's good
like a
or no.
Windfall,
Yeah,
Windfall's cousin.
wind twister.
Yeah, good, a nice twist there. It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Ah, Oracle text. Excellent. Our judge staff at this event is the pinnacle of yeah, our judge staff at this event is honestly the best you can get.
Mm.
Head judge Baldy knocking it out of the park. Judge staff crazy good, and you just saw a quick appearance. Everybody say hello, judges, in the chat. An L5. So the judge who just walked in was an L. We have an L5 here. That's crazy.
Not many of
That's
those.
I know Baldy got their L3. There's not too many L5s. Yeah, that's wild. Uh, so come to Eminence events and you can have the best judge experience you've ever had at a CEDH tournament. I'm telling you. Everybody resolving winds of change. Uh, at least one of them is going to make the "Can I mulligan this?" joke. There's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way. Yeah,
Oh, man.
it's
That
guaranteed.
you're selling me on never playing that card. 'Cause that's a good point, that you're gonna run into that. I can't take
It's
that stuff.
yeah, that is
It's gonna tilt
unfortunately
me.
where I draw the line. It's but yeah, we're resolving with the chains here. We'll see what happens. Maybe Slicer draws some more punishment. Okay, we hit a land. Is that what is that?
Yeah, Mycosynth.
Mycosynth Gardens. I was gonna say the Mirex, but okay, it's another
Yeah.
Phyrexian land.
Amulet Titan in Modern All-Star, can copy the land can turn into an artifact you can control.
Oh,
Also, notable on this Winds of Change, it countered the Imperial Seal effectively from Inala.
it sure did.
So that was a clutch time to use that card.
Yeah,
Just
Inola
shuffle and
is
then draw.
Inola is dead in the water at this point, blanking the tutor and dead to commander damage. Pretty brutal.
Yeah, his this game has not been kind to Inala and Tivit, just firing off the spell pierce. It was a good time to pierce, and yeah, Tivit just was in the wrong seat for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you just sometimes you get got. It happens.
Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff happened by the time my pick is Tivit, but yeah, it's not looking good this game.
Yeah. Is that is our favorite slicer player? Is that a onesie? Can't really tell, but it looks like they might be wearing a onesie, and if so,
It
that is a powerful move.
it's either a onesie or a very flashy jacket slash sweatshirt or hoodie.
It's a real
I'm not
strong move.
sure,
We have
but there's as much going on as there's a lot going on the Boyle playmats, and
true.
what if they
Tim
just had
really
the
killed
Boyle
those.
playmat on that? Yeah, it looks
Ooh, that
cool.
would be
It's good to
cool.
get the memorabilia.
In taking 4, not feeling particularly great, but the Sylvan Library trigger after the Winds of Change is particularly quite good. And we have the Slicer, and we have Kinnan and half billion mana Seedborn
Oh
Muse.
man, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Everyone picking up their hands like, okay, what can we do about this
Yeah,
with their
Seedborn Muse
newly
is a
found
must
hand?
answer. Holy moly. The question is it enough? Because we have Slicer ready to punch, and I gotta wonder if it's enough.
Yeah, everyone's taken down on their life total really quickly. It's they're under a lot of pressure here.
Well, Kyle, I am convinced that that is a Chalice of the Void now that Ian flipped over a Mox Opal and then flipped it back over as if to
Yeah.
say, "Oh, that's on 0. Please no."
Yeah, it's a
Slicer
cool looking chalice.
move it. I think yeah, we've got Ian trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and Ian wisely taking advantage of the Gaia's cradle before the slicer went away. Get some that one you can unlike the burnt offering, you can actually take advantage of the slicer being on your battlefield.
Love that. Love that. A very, very good point. That's very funny. Uh, think I'm not sure what the discussion in the end step here is, but
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what's going on. I know Ian was doing some gesticulating, as well as Ryan, the slicer player, or is it Ryan or Jeremy? Jeremy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Jeremy. Please don't be mad at me. This is Kinnan's game to lose right now. It says Billy in the chat says this is Kinnan's game to lose. Interestingly enough, if I pull up our wonderful ah, that's fun. I will say that in an Eminence event, there has never been a pod with Kinnan, Bonder Prodigy, and Slicer hired muscle in the same game. So
Unbelievable.
I cannot give you many insights here, unfortunately. I'm really trying. But I can tell you that in pods with Tivit, Seller of Secrets, and Kinnan Bonder Prodigy, one of those two decks wins the majority of the time.
Yeah,
Uh
I the games that Kinnan wins here is yeah, I do kind of agree with the assessment. It's Ian's game to lose here
yeah.
because Orcish Bowmasters can kind of help keep Kinnan's mana dorks at bay. Um, but it's no one's really messing with Ian. I mean, Tivit ate the Spell Pierce, and then the Chalice holds Ian back a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got the Seedborn Muse, so he's banging on all cylinders now.
Ian just needs to block at this point. I will say, Kyle, an interesting data point that we have available
Hmm.
is that in games containing Kinnan, Bonder Prodigy, Tivit, Seller of Secrets, and Inala Archmage Ritualist that happen at Eminence events, none of those decks have won the pod. We have two
Wow.
other wins. So it's not a significant data point, but it is, in fact, a data point. Ian flipped Nyx Plumation, which blocks Slicer for days. Wow. You could not have flipped a better card.
Yeah,
Does it die to Slicer? I thought it was like a 7/7. It's a 5/5, everybody, and I'm wrong.
but still a ton of mana that
Yeah.
Ian can just keep this going. Like Ian is the arch enemy here. But is it too late to really do anything about it? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question. Slicer notably coming in at Ian, so Ian must choose blocks to make. I mean, I think you just probably at some point throw the Nyx Plume under the bus. Yeah.
You're getting a lot of extra material. So yeah, this is it feels awful when Seedborn
Yeah.
Muse engines are going. It's just like, well, it's we no longer have 3 turns to figure it out. We have every turn it gets worse and worse, and it's harder to undo it if it's someone 3 seats away from you like Tivit, which looks like they don't have a source of plowshares or a path to exile for what's going on clearly.
Yeah. So Ian activating with his exclamation. Well, the activating is good. Makes make 4, 5 mana. The Mox Diamond makes 5, and the Island makes 3, or is it 4? I can't remember how the yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember if Kinnan doubled or just added 1. We flipped a Wandering Archaic into play, notably.
Okay. Screws are tightened here. That's everyone else is on fairly low resources in comparison, so it's kind of a nasty tax.
Notably, Drake Sasser probably very happy that he is taking some much needed rest at the moment. His 2 least favorite cards in the game of Magic are in play right now. Sylvan
Wandering
Library
Archaic
and Wandering
one.
Archaic.
Oh yeah, and Sylvan Library.
Yeah.
He did call out specifically those two cards yesterday.
Oh, Glen Alendra
Glenalendra.
Archmage hitting the that's fun. I like that.
Yeah, that's got it. It's not quite a hard lock. There's a an all well, I don't know. Maybe it's looking real bad.
Chalice and Glen Alendra in play. Chalice
Yeah.
doing some heavy lifting for Ian at the
Yeah,
moment, I'll
just
tell you
slowing
that much.
everybody else down.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, Ian got to go first, huge advantage, of course, and then the Sylvan Library able to keep the momentum going.
Establishing Seedborn Muse, Sylvan Library, filling your hand. Just it's Kinnan in the driver's seat. This is how Kinnan tends to close out games in my experience. It's just develop insurmountable advantage, develop your mana early. If Seedborn Muse doesn't get removed, you're just losing the game slowly at this point.
Yeah, and Kinnan doesn't always hit these haymakers that just press your advantage further and further, but the flips have been very favorable for Ian on top of that.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
everyone else is like they just have nothing going on. Yeah, this Chalice may be keeping somebody back a little bit. But between that and the Archaic and the Glenalendra, it's what do you think someone needs to like actually claw back into this game?
I mean, I feel like it's deluge or bust at this point from either of the 2 decks that can
Yeah.
cast it,
Okay.
and you need another piece of mana because the Glenalendra will just counter it.
Hmm.
Uh, so you need to have what, 5 mana to cast your deluge because Glenalendra, Force Spike, and then Undying, and then Force Spike again. So
Oh man, yeah.
yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Creatures are still in, but with everyone's mana being as hindered as it is,
Yeah,
it's hard to get that going.
I don't think it's very hard to come out from under this current lock, and yeah, wow, just insurmountable advantage in play. Ian untapping again, our untapped comrade. We've got.
Yeah, Ian's like, "Can I do it now? You
Let me
ready?
do it. Let me
I
do
want to
it.
activate it. I want to know what's on top.
Yeah,
Let's do it."
yeah. In your upkeep, I want to flip some cards, please.
And the Kinnan cards are going to the bottom.
Just counters. Archmage just counters. Okay, yeah, I thought it was the Force Spike one.
Ian finally gets a miss. Unlucky, really.
Yeah, poor Ian. You know,
But they're going to the bottom every time. We're getting closer to
we're
Tide
getting
Spout
yeah.
Tyrant and like the big like just yeah everything is done. So like he's got like 20 cards that aren't the big bombs at the bottom. So each
We've
one
got
getting a little juicier.
yeah, absolutely. You filter and you filter. We've got Lotho in play on Tivit's side. Tivit loves that card. I think that and Smothering
Yeah,
Tithe.
yeah, it's a good card. It's like not going to keep up with what's going on, but it is the thing that if you're going to win, you need something that's not spell based to get your mana going.
Yeah,
Treasure
it's
vault. So we have our infinite
our
colorless
outlet.
outlet.
Yeah, we have our outlet.
Just
Notably,
another piece to finish the game. 'Cause we're pretty close at every turn.
here's a flip. What are we gonna get? Did we whiff a second time? No, we just have
No, we
decision
have 2.
paralysis.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
at least 2 awesome hits in
I think
those
I saw
5
a Jin
cards.
Gataxius, the original
Oh,
Jin
wow.
Gataxius, the
I
new.
know Ian likes that one. I don't think that's in every list, but I know he
I
traditionally plays that one.
also big Jin Gataxius fan.
Okay, going for Phyrexian Metamorph on
Rex
Glenelendra
Metamorph?
Archmage.
Brutal.
Just tight
Absolutely brutal.
an even tighter lock. That's a lot to
Producer Alex wondering if he can concede for one of the players. Alex, no,
we have a
unfortunately.
level 5, so maybe we can check with the
That's
level 5 if we can concede on behalf of the pod.
that's true. Yeah, we that's true. We got the L5, so maybe a
In this
second flip in your main phase is absurd.
yeah, double flips going on. The guy is cradle, just getting more and more mana with each turn.
Is it a fierce empath? What is it? Okay,
And
thank you.
and we do have some cool clone synergy with Glenelendra and Phyrexian Metamorph. You can change it to I mean, and Ian actually
Why?
had, Ian could have clowned further and memed by making additional Seaborn Muses. They stack,
Oh
right?
no,
Uh,
no,
they don't stack?
no, they don't stack.
Okay.
Uh,
So
but
Glenelendra, the clear pick then.
that's a really good point on the Phyrexian Metamorph gaining Undying. Thorn Mammoth.
Thorn
Oh,
Mammoth.
okay.
That might actually be the check mark then. If
Yeah,
if
that
Ian's
is.
able to have creatures and non-creatures just completely KO'd, there's
Yeah, I think
there's
that
only
is
lands left that he
actually.
can't fight.
Yeah, that is actually game over. Skin in the game. Thorn Mammoth, for everybody who doesn't know, is whenever a Thorn Mammoth or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Thorn Mammoth fights up to one target creature you do not control, which is fun. I mean, Thorn Mammoth fixes your slicer issue.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
with as if Ian didn't need more things going for him, there you can it's you said when it enters the battlefield, so every turn when you're activating, you get a Thorn Mammoth trigger, so you can
yeah.
deal your 6 and then have it recover its hit points for the next turn and do it again.
And
Sometimes you
if
can
you need another
overload.
one,
y-
yeah,
Yeah, you can. Yeah, and
you
you
know
yeah,
when you
the
can sack
metamorph
your
can be a
Metamorph.
thorn mammoth, a
Yeah,
5/5 thorn mammoth
yeah.
when it persists. So many thousands of roads leading to Rome here.
Honestly, I don't see a way out for the table here, and I would give up. Here's a reanimate.
Yeah,
Wander. Oh god.
as casters, we kind of get everything. Where I mean, it's cool if we get to feature Ian, see him win. But also,
Yeah,
if Ian loses this game, this is like that would be the craziest game we have seen by far.
be a huge comeback story. I feel like if you are a Nala here, you have to pay this Wandering Archaic trigger, or Ian is returning a Nixloom Ancient from his yard
Yeah,
into
and
play.
gets to do it on top. He could effectively
Yeah,
counter it if it's not paid. He can fizzle
yeah.
it. I believe.
So
Yeah.
we are paying, and I think Ian will flip in response. Oh no, we are
Okay. Sacking.
sacrificing. Yeah, we are sacrificing
Okay.
Phyrexian Metamorph to Glenelendra.
All right. What are we copying this time?
Yeah, yeah. And so when it enters, when it re-enters, it will deal damage to Thorn Mammoth will deal damage to Lotho,
I
and
believe so.
and
Yep. Lotho
that's
down.
pretty stinky for everybody.
Yeah. Like the Lotho was not really holding it together, but that was our shot.
Lotho not a great advantage engine in the pod where nobody can cast 2 spells in a turn.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, by the time Tivit even had a single turn, it was just yeah, there's strong start by Kinnan and yeah, it was kind of hard for everyone. They're all under the gun. It was a great start by Ian with the Sylvan Library.
This is yeah. I mean, Ian kept just a stellar opener, obviously, and The rest of the table has been. I think the rest of the table might have kept some questionable openers, honestly,
Yeah,
except for
maybe,
maybe
yeah.
Slicer. Yeah.
Yeah, Tivit kept, they kept 7. I don't recall if it was 7-1 or 7-2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in maybe it's, I mean, they had, no, they had turn 1 ring. That was a fine,
Yeah. That just
that was a
got
fine
countered.
keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't play out well.
Ooh, notably, the All Trades Media mana trackers making an appearance. We have UG floating.
Ugh, ugh,
The
indeed.
table's reaction. UG. I believe we have the Mycosynth Gardens becoming a copy of Manifold. Very interesting. Yeah. Maybe we were doing it in the event that Manglehorn happened, which would be very heads up.
Now, Ian, I'm sure, is well aware of how Slicer works, making sure that, and Anala, so that's going to come in big, just playing against 2 lesser known decks. Because yeah, again, it's his game to lose, so just lack of familiarity is one of the things that could typically give you some chance. There's like a 1% that that he doesn't win this game, but
Yeah.
um, he can kind of help ensure that it's 100% here. A very shiny, delighted halfling
Yep.
enters the fray here.
There are no creatures for Thorn Mammoth to kill. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah, and 3 Glenelendras. The only, like, there's not even 3 threatening cards that will be played that Ian really cares about that
Yeah.
kind of supplants his position. So the table probably needs to work together at this point and like maybe catch one key spell by messing with the Glenelendras and their persist triggers. It's like one of the few ways to really navigate uh, this amount of just prison element from the Glenelendras.
Yeah, unfortunately, realistically, and unfortunately, the players' outs at this point are to waffle and wait and try to get a draw. And I think it is on Ian to kind of encourage people to play faster, which is antithetical to Ian's gameplay strategy generally. But
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
if
there's
you're
about
Ian,
43 minutes
yeah,
remaining. As long as, yeah, he probably only needs a couple turns to find what he needs. But yeah, you're right. That's, a draw would be a win for everyone that's not Ian at this point.
in the chat we see this is big concession time from some guy named Alex. And honestly, I don't disagree. This is me scooping up at this point, but I guess in your tournament life you have to play for the draw.
Yeah, this is a huge match. The
Yeah.
players after yesterday, they went to sleep knowing like my back's against the wall. I need to pull out a win. You are in a pod with comedian MTG, one of the premier CDH players, and he's just going nuts. So this
Making
is
9
not
green
going
off
well.
Gaia's Cradle. Yeah, that is is that a Nezahal? I think that is the Nezahal Primal Tide, yeah. The new
With a
coin
lot of
Ixalan board.
resources left
Yeah.
for another Kinnan activation.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point,
I'm fairly certain it is.
yeah, I plead the fish.
Nice. That was good. I like that. I like that. That was good. Ian, Nezahal. Nezahal, I don't even think is that good here, which is a
A
weird
lot of
thing to
spells are
say.
locked out, yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say, but you can't really do much. So, in the chat, we have Seedborn Snooze. All right. Nice. It's a good pun. It's a good pun. I mean, this is honestly, these are the most pivotal rounds for Ian's tournament life, and so oh, we have a lightning
Lightning
bolt
bolt.
coming
Okay.
down on Kinnan.
Oh
I have
man,
bad news
Nezzy
for you.
draw. Yeah.
Yeah, I have bad news for you. You just drew him a card, and it's going to get countered. Brutal.
Yeah, and I guess with Wandering Archaic, you probably have another lightning bolt, although the battlefield's so clear because Ian's just has everything else on lock.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to hit other than Inala's face. Yeah,
Yep.
there we go.
Yeah. Like
Brutal.
I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adnan's player. You
Yeah.
get another hit.
Ian sacking the Glenelantro to counter the bolt makes sense. We still have you floating. We're untapping again. Thank you, Alex. Alex, notably finishing the Soldier Boy Tell 'em
Mhm.
reference in my ears. The active player token moving to Ian, and I honestly, Ian's been the only active player this entire game. Everyone else is pretty much resting.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
looking at
Ian should probably purchase the original proxy pack at the end of this round because he's now probably associating that with there's the Pavlov. Every time the active player moves around, all of his permanents untap.
you
So I
should
think he really likes that active player button.
you should wear it like a name tag.
Yeah, yeah, he is really just taking everybody's turn at this point. So yeah, really, really good stuff from Ian here.
Time to start turning things sideways, I think. Thorn Mammoth and Nezahal Wandering Archaic provide a pretty fast clock given the current life totals.
Yeah, I mean he can kill off Anala. That's fewer turns being taken, which I think he's with
I don't
Seaborn. That's
yeah,
a
with
downside,
Seaborn,
but
yeah,
he
it's a different
wants to
setup.
just delete players at this point to just make sure he can win. So yeah, time's the only. There's still like almost 40 minutes left.
Yeah, we still got
So
lots of
he
time.
should be able to kill the table, but that's like his one. If it is a 1%, that's probably the only thing that's working against him.
Yeah, the draw is the only out. Maybe Ian will change the statistics, and Kinnan can finally win a game with Anala and Tivit in it. Very exciting. Very exciting stuff. You know, I honestly, I really had high hopes for Slicer, and Slicer's start was very, very good. But
Yeah, they came in, they shook things up. But yeah, it looks like that was the main thing. And then the winds of change may have actually really changed the way the game played out, like effectively countering that Imperial Seal from Anala. So it is a scary deck to tutor,
oh
and there
god,
likely wasn't a lot of interaction there.
the
All right, and
hard
here we have
cast
the Tide
tide spout
Spout.
tyrant,
Okay, that should be
double
good.
protection, hard
And
cast
you got
tide
the
spout
Metamorph
tyrant.
thing
Yeah,
going. You can
yeah.
reset the Metamorph if you have something else to play. So there should be enough. Ian's probably explaining the table.
The issue with Tide Spout Tyrant here is the Chalice of the Void still in play. So you do need to cast a spell to bounce that,
Yeah.
and then you need to start your chain again. I know we know he has a Mox Opal in his hand,
Mhm.
but he
Yeah,
it
so he's got a free
will
bounce
get
at
out.
least.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that
the
could
problem is
bounce the
that's the
chalice.
combo
You can
piece.
tides about you can that one will yeah, so he needs like one other piece.
Yeah, it'll bounce the chalice, but it'll still get countered. Woodland Deckhouse in the chat saying no one's even hitting land drops. Yes, it has not been a
Yeah.
good time for anybody not named Ian Flannery. So we're bouncing the chalice
Bounce chalice. Yep.
with
Oh, with
Otawara.
Otawara.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
just channeling
That
Otawara.
that's
We have a couple legendary creatures in play, so heavily discounted Otawara. Now, yeah, we have a Mox Opal that is not currently online. Well, Treasure Vault, Mox Diamond, Mox Opal. Actually, yeah, no, it is online. Okay, Treasure Vault being the artifact land is very good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's true. Metamorph. I. Yeah.
Oh, the
So,
crypt, right?
there's a
Yeah,
crypt in
that's
hand. So
all right.
Ian
We're
has this
activating
6 ways to
everything. Yep.
Sunday. Yeah, making infinite blue and green.
That hand motion indicates everyone is dead.
Inala has put
Holding
a
the
spell
cards
on the
up and
stack.
down. A spell peer or an offer you can't refuse.
An offer you can't refuse with Glenelendra or Phyrexian.
Oh,
Oh,
the
with the
wandering
Wandering
archaic.
Archaic.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
the
true. He has a
archaic
Wandering
counters it.
Archaic, so it immediately counters it. Brutal. Just a display of power from comedian, from Ian Flannery here. Table probably waiting for Ian to tell them how he wins.
Yeah, interesting that it's still kind of going here. 'Cause I think he has 1,000 ways to win right now.
Yeah.
And then yeah, archaic plus double Glenelendra plus billions of mana plus.
David Diggles in the chat saying, frustrating. No one has ever played against Kinnan before to know this would likely happen. Brutal. That is some commentary. They are making him play out the loop. There's a fierce guardianship.
Ian's like, by the way, I have this. By the way, I have this.
Yeah. So
I can
Ian's
beat
gonna,
the table 20 times and win this turn.
at this point, this is a deterministic infinite mana loop. So unless there's disruption, I think you just speak to a judge and
Yep, there it is.
So we have comedian MTG ready to be interviewed. Very exciting.